What's going on, everybody? King Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Marvel Legends X-Men series, the Juggernaut. Now here we do have Juggernaut in all his pieces. We have just finished up the standard 7 figures for his review. We've looked at Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Havoc, Rogue, Phoenix, and Cable, and now having all 7 of those figures gives us Juggernaut. Thankfully, you don't need to track down Deadpool. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get Juggernaut assembled, and then we'll go on to the rest of his review. He's really coming along nice, cannot wait to get him put together. We do have his head, his torso, his legs, his arms, and his lower torso. So give me one moment while I put them together, and then we'll go on to his actual review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Juggernaut fully assembled, and I have to say he is a really nice figure. Now let's go on to, well actually let's get a good 360 of him. Juggernaut is a beast of a figure. There are a few minor complaints I have on him, and they are just really minor. There's nothing too serious about this figure that I see as a major issue, but overall really nice figure. I'm really happy I found this entire wave, but let's actually go on to some of his details because he doesn't come with any accessories. Would have been nice if his helmet was removable, but if you try removing the helmet, you pop his head off. And as you can see, there is a face fully sculpted underneath this mask, but the head is not fully sculpted, so you're not going to really want to try getting that off because it's not going to look right. But again, really good looking figure, really menacing. He is quite huge. Let's actually show off how big he is. Let's actually get Deadpool here, who right now looks like his size, but squaring them up you can see Juggernaut just towers over Deadpool. He has about, I want to say four Deadpool heads over Deadpool. He's maybe about 8 inches, maybe pushing that 8.5 inch mark. And he is just really, really wide. You can see he's actually wider than my hand. When I close my hand like that, yeah, my hand's wider than him, but you can still see he's quite huge. Again, he is going about the 8.5 inch mark. I don't have a ruler. I actually hate that when people do that. But anyway, going on to his details, Juggernaut has quite a few of them. Let's actually zoom into his face. Oh, that's a face only a stepmother could love. Juggernaut has that really menacing scowl on him. I know a lot of people really don't like the way that Juggernaut's face came out, but I really do love it. The way they painted the teeth, he's sculpted like he's really menacing. It's just really good. The detail in the helmet is also really, really well done. You can see there are some divots to make it look like this helmet is worn. The way they use this wash effect, pretty good. The rivets, of course, are sculpted onto the helmet. The only problem I really have with the head sculpt is that it doesn't sit flush with the body. It does help with posability, but overall, I think that if it was set flush on the body, you wouldn't see this gapping right here through the back of the helmet. But, you know, if it is a helmet and he can move his head, I would expect there's some gapping. Again, really nice menacing scowl going on to his really broad chest. And let me just zoom out a bit. You'll notice that the helmet is darker than the plastic they actually use, and I know some people say that they would have preferred that they matched, but I actually do like the darker helmet versus the lighter suit. You can see the red is really nicely done. Just the sculpting on him is really, really phenomenal. Look at just how massive he is. His armbands, of course, are using that same dark paint effect that his helmet uses, which is really nice. These are loose pieces, although they're really sculpted to be really form-fitted, so they don't move around too much. I think the ones on his wrist move the most, but again, they're really form-fitted, so they're not going to be moving around much. Nice detail on the belt. I actually went and put the belt on him. I know I debated it whether or not, but it actually does provide one thing, and that's to hide his belly button. Kind of looks strange that his belly button is exposed, but moving the belt up and right at that joint, you can see it covers it up really well and doesn't take anything away from the figure. And his boots are just really nicely done. They are textured versus the rest of his costume, which I really do like that. You can see the bottom of his boots do have treads, although it is flat at the bottom. Like, there is treading right here, but it's not going all across the boot. The illusion is there, but if you were to pick him up and look, he doesn't have any treading at the bottom of his feet. Not a deal breaker, and not a detail that you should really like judge based on the figure, but I didn't even show off the detail in his arms. He has like veins in most places. People don't have places. Just a really nice figure, and even his hand is massive. I would not want to mess with Juggernaut here, because he is the immovable, unstoppable Juggernaut. And being a bulky figure, it does kind of reflect on his articulation, but he does still have quite a bit of articulation. His head is on that neck hinge, although if you try posing his head too far back, you will pop it off. And same thing if you try posing it too far forward, it pops off. It does have some movement, as you can see. That's all movement on the ball joint. It moves left and right, up, down. The hinge makes him look up about that far, and he can look down about that far. He's going to be looking down on people more than he's looking up at them. So we do have that really good head movement. Not great, but it is good. And because it's not so form-fitting, we do get that nice play around with it. Arms on a ball joint go all the way out. I thought that for sure his arms would pop off if we tried getting them this far out. They do a full 360. This one kind of ratchets. This one also ratchets, so that's pretty good. This one's a little more loose than this one, but I can live with it. So arms do a full 360. He spins at the bicep. He is only single jointed at the elbow, and you do get about 90 degrees, which is pretty cool. He also spins and bends at the wrist, although his wrist bend isn't all too phenomenal. He does have a torso crunch, which makes him crunch back about 1 click, and crunch forward 1 click too. So not too good forward movement, but you can see you can still get him in good running, decent poses. He does have a waist swivel. Legs do go forward about that far. They go back and out. He swivels at that thigh. He's single jointed at the knee. Does he have a boot swivel? No boot swivel on Juggernaut here, but he does. His foot does hinge back and forth as well as pivot side to side. So you really can get him in quite a few running poses if you really wish. And that's probably what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to take a little break, get him posed, and move on to my final thoughts, then we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. So here we have Juggernaut posed for my final thoughts. Overall, a really, really well done figure. I don't actually have the Marvel Select Juggernaut to compare this one to, but just having this one, I am really pleased with how this Juggernaut came out. If you're trying to collect Juggernaut here, you only need to collect 7 of the 8 figures that come out. You really don't need to pick up Deadpool, which is a really good thing. However, if you are looking for the whole wave, they are starting to hit stores now. I know you could get them early through online retail, but if you're looking for the wave, I really do recommend Juggernaut. Whether or not I recommend all his figures, that is a little to be desired. I know for sure if you're collecting this line, Rogue is a must-have, Kitty Pryde is a must-have. Cable and Wolverine are probably the must-haves of this line. Phoenix I felt was a little iffy. I still like Phoenix. Iceman, mine was really lackluster. And Havoc, I really didn't care much for Havoc, so Whether the entire line is a hit, well, that's up to you. I know there's some Havoc fans, some Iceman fans. Me personally, just having Juggernaut here justifies spending the money for all 7 figures. Now, if you want to get Juggernaut, you do need to pay about, I want to say, somewhere along the lines of $130 to maybe $140, and that's just for every figure for this wave. If you're able to get them, I really do recommend them all, especially if you're trying to collect Juggernaut. He is such a tremendously awesome figure that I cannot recommend him anymore. And this is King of Dragons 5000 saying, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out the rest of the X-Men Legends as well as all my other Marvel Legends reviews. And while you're at it, check out all my other action figure reviews. Who knows, you might like what you see. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel like I said. And until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone.
My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me. It won't